Welcome to day one, Macro 101. Why is everyone obsessed with macros, and what are macros? So macros are short for macronutrients. It's just your carbs, your fats, and your proteins. That's all it is. It sounds more complicated than it really is. So what we're doing is basically taking your carbs, your fats, and your proteins, and we break it up for your body. I take your height, your weight, your age, your activity level, and your goals, and then I come up with your macro numbers. So you'll have certain grams for carbs, proteins, and fats. Once I find that number, then I've created your plan according to your food preferences. So if you look at the bottom of each day, you'll see your macro numbers. Your macro numbers are that breakdown. Now, they're in grams, so whenever you're tracking, like on the MyFitnessPal app, you're going to want to track grams, not percentages, because it's a lot easier to track that way. The reason why macros are so important and so effective is because you could be eating 1,200 calories a day of ice cream, or you can eat 1,200 calories a day of balanced proteins, carbs, and fats, and your body's going to look completely different depending on what you choose. So that's why I love macros. Also, it's flexible. You can fit a treat here and there in your macros, and you don't have to feel guilty about it. But I do want you to eat 90% clean if you can. Just because you can fit it in doesn't mean that it's going to be healthy for you to eat Pop-Tarts all day. So 90% of your diet should be clean, and if you did get a meal plan, you'll see that reflected in your meal plan. And then if you want to fit in a treat here and there, that's totally fine, and you'll still see results that way. Another thing I want to talk about is the goal is to be able to eat as many calories as you can while still seeing results. So you cannot build lean muscle and look toned if you're on 1,200 calories a day. Your body's going to be starving, it's going to break down your muscle, and that's not what you want. So my goal is to be able to help you see results while still being able to eat as much food as possible. You'll notice if you did get a meal plan that I included carbs. Carbs are not the enemy. You need carbs in order to build muscle, to function properly, to even think clearly. So do not be afraid of carbs. Now, the problem is when you're eating lots of sugary carbs or a lot of simple carbs, you want to be careful with that because that's what makes you kind of feel bloated. If you need to rearrange your snacks from time to time or you have a busy day, that's fine every once in a while, but I've structured your meals to be balanced carbs, fats, and protein for every meal and every 3 hours because that's going to help speed up your metabolism, and that's the goal. So every once in a while, if you need to have a little bit of a 5-hour break where you're not eating, that's fine, but the goal is to really try to eat every 3 hours. Also, as long as your macros add up at the end of the day, that's what matters. So if you're off a little bit one meal, you can make it up in another meal. This is a whole new experience for you. So you are going to have setbacks. You are going to have times where you're not going to want to count, and that's okay. This is all new to you. So make sure that you are just trying to do the best that you can and really get the most out of the program, and try it, be consistent for at least 2 weeks. I want you to, the reason why macros are so nice is because you can see how you should be eating and how your meals should be balanced. Most people are eating way too little protein and way too many carbs. So once you get that down for 2 weeks, then you can decide if you want to continue counting, which I suggest doing. But if it seems tedious to you and it's hard at first, it's okay. Just stick with it for 2 weeks. Be consistent, and I promise it will change your life.